Kicking in dough.
Can't touch this, can't touch this, can't touch this, can't
Kicking in dough.
touch this, can't touch this, can't touch this.
But yeah, that's pretty much the setup I caught. It was bon appetit, mucho gusto. It is the 8th day of 2026. And if somebody asks me how was my trading week, this is what I'm gonna tell them. What the fuck? So, let me tell you what fucking actually happened this week, right? So, as y'all know, I've been doing the 3K account builds, and it's been going absolutely fucking wonderful. Started with 3K and got the account all the way to, sorry, just getting some text messages, but got the account all the way to motherfucking 6,500. And I was floating in a trade before I took the loss that put me at 8,000. So I went from 3K to fucking 8K. You know what I'm saying? 3K to 8K. So it's like the gains, they were beautiful. I just fucked up. I fucked up yesterday. Yesterday's my daughter's birthday, so it's just like, I gotta give thanks. I'll drop some clips later on so y'all can see how the party was, and I'll come back and tell y'all about my mindset before her birthday and after. But it's such a blessing. It's such a blessing. And before I go in on a tangent, I promise you guys in 2026 I was gonna be giving you value. So here's the verse of the day. Hebrews 13:16. And don't forget to do good and to share with those in need. These are the sacrifices that please God. So just like, it's simple, bro. Be a good person. Be a fucking good person. For real. Be a good person. Like, I don't feel like it's hard. You know what I'm saying? That's what the world lacks nowadays, is people being freaking genuine. And it's just like, in 2026, I said, if you ain't genuine, you can't step over here. You know what I'm saying? You can't. So that's really how I'm just keeping the energy. And you know the craziest part about it, bro? It took so much sacrifices to get here, but it's just like, when you're so used to doing something in a certain type of way, sometimes you don't even realize it. But that's why change is good, and you know what I'm saying? You just gotta just be able to be conscious of that. I'm saying you should want to always evolve as a person, and that's why we set these goals. I'm saying the 3K to 3 million. So listen, all this little shit I went through this week, it ain't nothing, because like really do this, you know? And it's just like, for those who know me for how long I've been doing this, like, this is what the process looks like. Some people may be like, it's bad risk management. Some people may be like, oh, blah, blah, blah. But it's a simple fact that a person can do it. A person can do it, trade like that, live like that consistently, you know? And that's what my method is all about. That's what my strategy is all about. Just like, having confidence in the markets is just, it's mandatory at all times. You know what I'm saying? Because like, you gotta make sure you, the trader, like, understand what you see at all times. And I feel like once you kind of master that, you'll be able to kind of whip ass in the markets. So if you're looking to achieve greatness, please make sure you understand what you see before you jump in the markets, please. But nah, the market is moving like lit. So I kind of show y'all something, but before I show y'all something, I got something to tell y'all. So I had a very big day yesterday, and this was definitely after a small losing streak. I was able to capitalize and take a very big trade. If you saw the description, you know what I'm talking about. So let me kind of show y'all the week wins, because it's not that bad. So yesterday alone, I made hold on, let me make sure I can see this, because last time when I held this shit up to the camera, it looked a little too bright, but let me get y'all to focus. Look at that shit, niggas. Hold on, where's the focus button? There we go. That say 39K. Listen, I was literally what, $600 away from $600 away from hitting 40K. Niggas, we did it. Like, that was in one day. And look at the confidence in the lot sizes. You feel me? The lot sizes matter. The lot sizes matter, you know? Having that confidence on the charts is everything, bro. Like, everything. All right, cool. So, The very first thing I kind of want to do in a nut load is to kind of show y'all we're proof in the pudding. So we're gonna go to MT5. Let me just punch in a little bit. All right, let me stop sharing my screen for a second. Yeah, I can see my big head. All right, so we're gonna go to MT5. Y'all forgive me, I got all these notifications kind of coming up. And we're gonna click on right here where it says, no, up here to the top where it says last week. And you'll see down here towards the bottom, it says 55K. If I change it and I do create a report, which is a new feature on MT5, it's gonna kind of show you the risk factors. So these are kind of like the things that I kind of want to break down, because I actually was supposed to have a 72K week, but I lost 17K, making it a total of 54K that I was able to be profitable with the week. So when it really just comes down to learning opportunities in the market, ladies and gentlemen, you can't avoid them. You can't control how they happen. Like, learning opportunities are always going to be there in the market. What is going to be there that we can control is the structure and, you know, where we perceive that it's going. So although you may be looking on a 4-hour time frame, I'm going to start from the 1-hour time frame. And the moves that I'm going to be talking about are all the moves from the first, which is, the second, which is the Friday, all the way going down to the end of this week, which is Friday. I traded up until Thursday. I believe I caught some sells maybe on Thursday or some buys. I can't remember what I caught, but I did catch some more moves on Thursday. But all these moves that are highlighted are what we're going to kind of talk about pretty much. Let's see. It's right here, niggas. My bad, they were asking me. All right, so pretty much, right? You guys are seeing my screen and y'all see Nas. So let's actually go to a brand new chart so that way I can explain a little bit of what you need to kind of interpret in order to do this here. So we're gonna kind of do a clean and naked chart. We're gonna go to the 1-hour time frame. So the very first thing that I always go ahead and do whenever I'm doing anything, ladies and gentlemen, is structure. If I don't know which trend the market is going, I don't know how to take advantage. This is honestly just what works for me. I got to be able to understand the trend that I'm in order to be able to take full advantage of the markets, or else I feel like I'm going to be running around with a chicken without his head. So I don't like kind of approaching the market like that. I like controlled environments where I know what's going on. And you may not know what's going on the lower time frame, but you should be able to kind of know what's going down on the lower time frame. So for me, really and truly, after I go ahead and draw my structure, one of the main things that kind of jumps out to me that I always do is kind of mark off the areas of interest on if we were supposed to transition trend, what would it look like and where would it start from? So that way I have an understanding that once I cross a certain point of no return, I'm good. And I do that using supply zones and demand zones. So in this instance, this was more so a supply zone. You know that demand zones are based off of the bottom parts of structure. Supply zones are based off the top. So what I did was, based on this 30-minute time frame, I was able to kind of trap price between this defined range, right? We all know that price goes from zone to zone. Now, keep in mind, as I said, we're gonna talk about the sells that I caught going into on Friday, which is right here, because I caught the buys right after. I lied. I could just jumped right into the buys because the buys were actually the start of the week. Yep, 4th was the start of the week. I'm tripping. So let's go to the 4th. Pretty much with this gap up, what I saw was this, right? You see over here how we're in a downtrend. We're making lower highs and lower lows. What you have to do in order to kind of be able to pick up where you left off is you got to be able to kind of mark off these lower highs and these lower lows. on the bigger perspective time frame that you're analyzing off of. So that way you have an understanding of the trend. So that way you're not psyching yourself out. This is so you don't stay in the buys too long. This is so you don't stay in the sells too long. And you kind of have an understanding that once it kind of comes into that area, you need to be able to do something. Y'all guys give me 30 seconds. This is my father. Let me see what he wants. All right, back like I never left. Can y'all hear me? My audio good? Somebody said y'all can't hear me. I know y'all can hear this. I know y'all hear this big ass head. Y'all can hear me, right? All right, my bad. That was my dad calling. You know, we got to show the old man love when he called. Shouts out to you, pops, wherever you at. But as I was saying, right, downtrend. You got to be able to mark off the areas of structure, because here's the thing, right? When you look at it from a 1 hour perspective, and just being able to identify, you know, the proper transition of trend, the proper break of structure, the area that price needed to actually print below in order for you to kind of see something of substance, you know, to kind of even be considering the downtrend motion, you have to be able to see structure clearly. In order to see structure clearly, you got to kind of just know where you are. And once you know where you are, you know where you're going. So once these lower highs and lower lows kept on being made, of course, I rode the downtrend move on Friday. But now watch this. This is what I want you to backtrack to, right? If we look overall, right? Overall, we're in an uptrend. Overall, I started my fibs from here and ended it right here because this was the peak. So then I've already expected that once I broke this point on the 3 hour and on the 2 hour and on the 1 hour, that it would shift into a downtrend motion. And what do? We came right back into my zone, which, if I go back to a 4 hour time frame, was originally where we originally broke structure at the first time around. So when you base things, ladies and gentlemen, from a trend-based perspective, you're gonna make your life a lot more easier, because you'll be able to see the transitions of the market and you'll be able to get these good ass entries, because that's what we all here for, right? We're here for the sauce on the entries, right? Am I right? We're all here for the sauce on the entries, right? Like, we want to jump into the market next week and be able to just like fuck the whole thing up. Am I right, guys? Like, that's what we here for, the sauce on how to get in and how to get out, right? So I want y'all to pay attention closely. So I took the first buy opportunity right along here, right? This is literally where the market opened up at. And I want y'all to see. Y'all see how I have the bigger trend? Now I'm on an entry time frame, like the 30 minutes. Now I switched to the 15 minute. I saw something very significant from this swing high to this swing low on the current structure. So what I'm going to do is, nothing else matters. I'm simply going to follow the structure upon this time frame and try to understand what price action's attempting to show me, so that way I can navigate throughout the markets clearly. And in this, I saw that, hey, we came down here, we made some form of high, we made some form of high, and then a low point, and then we ended up breaking it. We retested it, and then coming to Sunday, what did we do? We continued. We consolidated. We respected the range. We came back. We retested this area right here where we broke structure at, which is right along here. And once I saw we broke structure, I pasted. We had a QP in here. A QP is an institutional fundamental and technical support and resistance level. Once I saw that we broke this, and then we retested it and continued off with the trend, it was simple as waiting for the lower time frame. Sorry, I keep on changing time frames on the fly. That's just how I think when I trade. But if you look right here, right, and boom, I'll show you. Counter trend line showed this trend was done. We broke, we retested, we started a new week consolidating a little bit, but then we kept on continuing the trend after we made this high. We retested it, got the permission from these lows. And then look at the candlestick pattern is what I want y'all to pay attention to. We had a 3 candlestick pattern here that mattered, to where we did a seller's candle to where sellers were closing out the area. We did a buyer's rejection candle to where buyers rejected whatever was right here. The only thing that was right here was a QP that was a level of support, which you can see the market was balancing on this whole time. We came back and retested it, and then boom, buyers took over. Literally, I believe I took the long. I think I took the long into the open, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I took the long into the open. Another trick that you can use, since I'm on my charts, you see all the lines that I put. These little red lines, they just signify that, hey, um, price is retesting this area, using it as some form of support and continue. But the little trick I was gonna tell you is when the blue is over the red EMA, you can go long. So you see right here how the red just crossed over the blue, boom, how we gapped up. You could have took buys in this and you could have been okay. You just have to make sure that the highs and lows are being respected. Same thing right here, how the red is over the red is over the blue. This is a sign to exit your trade. So if you're ever using these, pretty much whenever they cross is when you're having some form of transition. If they cross at a high point, you're transitioning into a sell. If they cross at a low point, you're transitioning into a buy. Just a little secret. But took this move on Sunday. You guys are probably gonna see this in my latest YouTube video. I didn't really close out until the next morning, like around like I think like 7, and then come New York session, it just kept on going. We broke and then we retested. And if you look the area that my entry's at, it's literally at a QP. So like you'll see with my strategy in particular, I enter a lot off of QPs. Now, when it comes to entries, a lot of you guys probably have questions on how I go about stacking my trades and how I go about scaling in and adding positions. I want y'all to look at it like this, and I want y'all to think of it from the most simplistic concept that you can. If you start at a certain point and you know that the move is gonna get there, why wouldn't you scale in? Like if you know you're gonna secure 10 pips or 20 pips, why wouldn't you scale in using risk management, right? Well, that's kind of like the same thought process that I go when I'm trading. If I entered off of a break and a retest and then I'm continuing, like for example, I know wherever I get a higher high, I'm gonna get a retest. 9 times out of 10, I scaled in right here in the morning and then I got out once I hit my TP. Now, when it goes to TPs, when I'm on the charts, like I'm locked in, I'm on it. But when I'm away from the charts, I try to have one set so that way, no matter what, I'm just being disciplined to get away from the market. The worst thing you want to do is just be able to kind of miss a move because you didn't have a TP set or you wasn't prepared for it. But nevertheless, same thing with this move on 930. 930 volume came and we came in the middle of a retest. Buyers came, took over, literally hit for my 1 to 3. And then we consolidated for Asian session to where we did the pullback. That same Monday, I was able to take advantage of a move again to where I rode the move all the way to TP1 again, to where I got a 1 to 2, and then I was able to exit. And then literally Tuesday, the next day, the consolidation, we were still maintaining higher lows. As you can see, we never once broken any structure and never came close to transitioning in. Where is it at? Any way, shape, or form. We really consolidated and maintained, and then we continued. So I caught the whole push the next day, and then going into that night on Tuesday, I called some nasty sells. I think I did get stopped out of it like once or twice, if I'm not mistaken. I remember getting stopped out of a move like a couple times though. I don't know if it was this one, but I got stopped out, and then I caught the sells. Lily caught it for like a 1 to 3. You'll see the sweet spot that I go to for risk to reward to make these profits is always like a 1 to 3. I don't never want to kind of like go for anything else that doesn't make sense to me. And the reason why I say that is because typically when you're going into a trend, you're going to notice the average amount that a pair breathes that it ticks for. And I noticed that on the 30-minute to like the 5-minute, when I go for my 1 to 3s based on what I like to risk, which I like to risk anywhere from 20 to 30 ticks to, you know, make a certain reward. But I normally go for like 1 to 3s. But in this instance where I took this sell, which was on Wednesday, we already had came up to the high, and I wanted to make sure I caught it. So I literally made sure that on the 5-minute, the break of structure already presented itself and that we were going down. So you could see up here at this resistance area, right? If I was supposed to make it into a QP so that way you guys could see it, no price came above the 25.825 area and started shifting downwards. Once we kind of came and broke these lows, we came. Boom, I came and I just literally rolled the retest and continuation move right into it. And I literally rode this move really and truly for like a 1 to 7. This was the move that really got my account like fat as fuck because I originally had a 1 to 3, but the move just gave it to me while I was watching it. And then I was watching it during Asian session, going into Tokyo session. So I was just watching it and it literally just gave me the abundance, like literally. So you're just gonna have moves like that that really kind of level you up without you even having to do too much. And then you can see the losses that I had here, which is the me trying to sell, right? Because I knew sales were coming. And I let the fucking consolidation trick me, and I stopped keeping track of where I was within trend, and thought, I don't know why I thought it was gonna buy, and where I bought at is where I should have sold at. But you know, I took a very tiny L doing that trade, and then that was pretty much it. So, when it comes down to it, I keep these trades on my screen so that way I'm able to kind of give back and kind of teach you guys. The number one thing that you're gonna need to build an account is you're gonna need fucking patience. I don't care what anybody tells you in this field or in this space. You're gonna need patience to build an account. You're gonna need a plan, and you're gonna have to like stick to the plan. I saw somebody just ask me what moving averages am I using. I'm using the 8 EMA and the 9 EMA. I'm using the 8 MA and the 9 EMA. So when they cross, when they do their dance together, when red is over blue, it's sell. When blue is over red, it's buy. So those are for the EMAs, but I mainly use raw price action. I don't want you to get caught up in the whole fancy indicators and anything like that. In my generation, in my age of learning, I didn't really have to depend on a lot of indicators. I just used raw price action, and that's kind of how I got so nice to not having a fear in the market and more of a patience to understand the market. And I feel like that's what a lot of you guys need to be profitable. If you can understand what's to come or what to look for, you guys will be able to navigate the markets just a bit more better. And that's what I'm here to kind of do for you guys. What can I say about gold? I could tell you that gold didn't help me make 60K this week, but gold would have helped me made some bread if I would have bought it. I had longs on gold because I'm looking at it right now. So I had longs on gold, but I didn't stick with it to catch it. In all honesty, I didn't stay with it to catch it. I would have caught it, but I didn't stay with it. I had it more so over here. I was just waiting for it because I was waiting for the green zone to be retested, and then once support kind of lift off and I got our first retest, I know I could have got in. I knew these buys were coming. I didn't wait to see it out. I'd rather trade GJ or Nas, which GJ I caught some longs on GJ, and then I missed the shorts, not following structure. And then when I did take a short, the move was over. So yeah, my analysis is all fucked up when it came to GJ. But somebody asked me about the moving averages. I used it right here: EMA 8, SMA 9. So you have them here. There's some other indicators I do use when I feel to throw them on, but that's pretty much it. Somebody did ask me about gold though. Nas and gold, they definitely do move similar. I feel like gold doesn't give you as much moves as Nas though, because when I was studying Nas is just the type of pair it could give you a setup every single day if you allow it. And to kind of the trading style that I want to show y'all as day traders kind of revolves around that. That doesn't mean that every day is a trading day, but there's an opportunity for you to take if you can see it clearly. But what was I gonna say? The biggest thing is just make sure you guys have your risk management plan. Like for me, I was really at 2 lots, and that was 2 lot per entry. And I kind of was able to scale that. I did take a big L trying to size up on those 2 lots, which was that 17K L, but I didn't let it hold me back because the next trade was the biggest trade of the year for me, which was I think 30, almost 40K in one trade, which was beautiful, which was very, very beautiful, which is when the market just kept on dropping. So you're just going to have moves like that. And you guys just need to be able to understand structure and understand market structure and where you are. And especially when it comes to those zones on the higher time frames, those supply and demand zones, once you see those are there and you're getting a transition around there, they're golden for you to trade. Those are probably going to give you some of the best moves ever, the best profitable moves. But you also got to be patient. So moving forward, we're going to be live trading in here. I'm gonna be doing live trading in this very area that we're in right now. So get ready for the live trading. Get ready to make this bread together. Get ready to ask questions. Get ready to just go through this whole process together, because as I make money, you guys should make money. You guys should be able to follow along, and I'm here to guide you guys. So let's give it off to next week. But did everybody kind of understand on how I made the 60K? Did everybody understand from the entries to the process? I just want to see y'all write it in the chat that y'all understand. It's really just catching good risk to reward setups. I want y'all guys to understand that. Keep it completely simple. It's all about just catching good risk to reward setups. So if you guys can do that, you guys will build the shit out of your accounts. And that's what it really comes down to. Good risk to reward, and is the risk worth it? Well, I did record this for you guys so you guys can watch it over. I didn't want to spend too much time because I wanted to leave room for you guys to be able to DM me and ask me questions and things of that nature. I appreciate you guys taking time out of your busy Saturday to join. I appreciate you. What lot will I use on the $2,700 account? I'm probably going to start off with 0.50s and see how I feel after I kind of, hit TP. But I'm going to start off with a 0.50 and try to scale into like a standard. Maybe a standard and a half, but I'm going to try to like scale into that. So that's why I'm going to stand with that. But I am going to start off with using 0.50s. And then I do need to make a withdrawal, so I'm probably going to make a withdrawal so that way I can do like a giveaway or some shit. But we'll figure it out. But guys, God bless. I appreciate y'all, man. Thank y'all so much for giving me so much of y'all time. I appreciate y'all. Stay tuned in the Discord. Stay tuned in the Telegram. We're going to kick this thing off. I'm not going to take too much of your time. God bless, and I love you, and I'll see you later. Deuces. So that's pretty much how it went, though. I had my biggest trading day. It was my daughter's birthday. Really can't complain. And it's not my biggest overall day, but it's the biggest day that I had in quite some time. A 40K day. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro. And it's so crazy because it happened at 1 a.m. last night. Watch. I literally woke up, checked my phone, and I was like, yo, let's see what we about. Just wait for it. Y'all see that? Y'all see that? I mean, I'll probably have the screen on footage and watch it. Look at it. I was like, yo, what? I was gonna close out 1 and just leave it running. If I would have left it running, I probably would have had a great day, according to Nas, because Nas sold today. Cooked. That's for a whole different one. I got Nas cooked today. But closing out and taking the bread, niggas. You feel me? So that's really what it's all about, though. Trading, man. Make this be your best goddamn year for your trading. Don't let nobody stop you from being great. Don't let the haters get to you. Just lock in and do what you gotta do. I'm probably gonna treat myself to a nice little withdrawal. You know what I'm saying? So I'll make sure y'all see that. But I don't know. I'm pretty much in a season of saving because I want certain things. So I don't get too lit yet, but I think I'm gonna plan a trip. I don't know. I think we need to take a trip. But make sure y'all like and subscribe, man, and I'll see you guys in the next one. God bless. Deuces.